So the NBA draft is coming up in just over a month's time, and nobody has any idea about what's going to happen. Let's be real, no one really has any idea about what's going to happen because this is a strange NBA draft. Because honestly, it's weak. It's weak because if you're looking at the top players in draft, you've got Lamelo Ball, who's a very flawed basketball player. It's hard to predict Lamelo Ball. He could be a boom, he could be a bust. It's hard to predict him. He is a seriously flawed player right now. I think that's one thing we can all say about him. But at the end of the day, his upside is crazy. You've got Anthony Edwards, who people believe doesn't have any motor or drive in him whatsoever to win. You've got James Wiseman, who didn't play in college, but is still could be a legitimate superstar in the NBA. You got Deni Avdija, who played in EuroLeague. And you've got Killian Hayes, who, despite having a fantastic season in Eurocup, has been dropping down the draft board. So it is kind of hard to tell what's going to happen this draft. So 2020 mock draft, three trades in historically unpredictable lottery. Yeah, literally anything can happen. All right, so this is an article from Bleacher Report. I will leave a link to the article in the description, from Jonathan Wasserman. So Lamelo Ball, number 1. I mean, I think it's going to happen. I think someone's going to trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the only team that will trade up in this draft are teams that are intrigued in Lamelo Ball. I'm sorry, I don't think he's a number 1 pick. I think if he was in, say, 2018, he isn't picked in the top 5. He is not picked before Bagley. He's not a top 5 pick in 2018. In 2019, last year, I mean, he's not a top 3 pick without question. And then you could argue that he's barely a top 7, 8 pick most years. But Lamelo Ball is he's going number 1. LeVar spoke into existence, and fair play to Lamelo Ball. I thought he was done for. He seems to have really focused back on basketball again when he was in Australia. The year in Lithuania, the JBA, did not do any good for him at all. But I gotta admit, fair play to him. And it's all him, he has recommitted, and he's probably gonna be number 1. Oh man, the Wolves better trade this pick. Find a team that is desperate enough. Heck, trade it with the Knicks. Trade the pick with the New York Knicks. They want Lamelo. They'll probably give you something ridiculous like the 8th pick of Mitchell Robinson. Just make that trade. Just get Lamelo. Okay, number 2, 3-way trade, Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers get number 2 pick. The Warriors get Miles Turner in the number 6. If the Warriors can manage to turn the number 2 pick into one of the better centers in the NBA and the number 6 pick, who they can probably use on a guy that will fit the team better than one of those freshman players, or flip that number 6 pick for another role player. Oh my god. If the Warriors can pull this off. The Hawks receive... Miles Turner in the 6th pick for Andrew Wiggins. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So the Hawks receive Wiggins, 2021 Minnesota pick. The Hawks give the Warriors pick number 6 for Wiggins and a 2021 pick, top 3 protected. And the Pacers receive number 2 pick. I'm guessing who has the Minnesota Timberwolves pick? The Warriors? I don't know. I have no idea where these assets are coming from, but I'd imagine Miles Turner worth the number 2 pick, basically. That's basically what his trade is. I don't see who says no. Miles Turner for the 2 pick. Indiana probably will take it because Oladipo's is almost certainly gone. So I can see this happening. Strangely enough, I can actually see this crazy trade happening. It'll be a big win for the Warriors if they can turn the number 2 pick and Andrew... Actually, no. 2 pick Andrew Wiggins and Minnesota Timberwolves pick. That might be a little bit much, assuming that the Warriors have that pick, that is. But at the end of the day, with Miles Turner in the 6th pick, if someone like Deni falls to 6, they're winning the ring next year. I'm almost certain of that they're winning the ring next year, if that's the case. Charlotte Hornets, James Wiseman. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer for Charlotte, isn't it? I think Michael Jordan tends to overthink things like this, so it's going to be a shot. I would be kind of surprised if they end up doing this trade, but again, because him and PJ Washington could be a nice backcourt or frontcourt. That could be a nice frontcourt there. Trade at number 4, New York Knicks trade to get Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, are they really going to trade up for anyone except for Lamelo Ball? Unable to move up for Lamelo without including RJ Barrett in the trade. I mean, if I'm New York, I probably would include RJ Barrett instead of Robinson, but I think they will. I wouldn't be that surprised if they do go and move RJ Barrett. Like, heck, they could probably find something with like a couple of picks in Kevin Knox. But like the number 8 to number 38 in Kevin Knox for the 4 pick. Why would the Knicks do this? Like, why would the Knicks make this trade? Like, at number 8, they can probably either get Theo Maledon. You never know, Deni might fall to them. Or they could probably get Killian Hayes. And they're 2 of the best point guards, and then Deni's one of the best players in this draft. Like, why would the Knicks do this? Cleveland Cavaliers, Deni, oh, please no. I like Deni Avdija, and I do not like Cleveland. Cleveland, when LeBron James has not been in Cleveland, they have been, like, consistently one of the worst teams in the NBA. And that's been the case since, like, the 90s. The late 90s. They've been consistently one of the worst teams ever since, apart from the LeBron years. So, I really like Deni, so I want him to go anywhere but Cleveland. If Deni goes to Chicago, I'm happy. If Deni goes to, imagine if the Warriors got a trade and Deni fell to 6. Imagine putting Deni Avdija, who is like a 6'8", 6'9", ball-handling wing defender. Imagine putting him with Stephen Clay. Yeah, heck, you could play him as at the power forward with Draymond at the 5, and you've got a ridiculous... You've got a death lineup, like. Man. Isaac Okoro, fair enough. Again, like... The Warriors are trading this pick. But, like... Yeah. The Golden State Warriors are presumably hope to get Deni by moving down. But in this case, I don't think Deni... Like, I'd be shocked if the Chicago Bulls trade the number 4 pick. I would be shocked to get Deni Avdija. Unless they can get, like, again... Maybe they want a point guard. And maybe they could get Maledon or Killian Hayes at 8. Obi Toppin falling to 7. I think it's more likely a case of the Golden State, in this scenario, drafting Obi Toppin. I think Golden State are more likely to take him than he is to fall past Golden State. If the Golden State trade down, he's still on the board. Unless, I think for me, most likely situation is Golden State trying to get Deni first, and then if they can't drafting Obi Toppin there instead of kind of a youth player. Because Obi Toppin, while he is the same age as Jason Tatum, will be able to come in and make an instant impact. And Golden State, let's be real, are going to be good for another 5 years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Killian Hayes at 8. Whew, I like this pick. I like this. If the Chicago Bulls wanted to trade, if the Chicago Bulls could manage to trade down with the New York Knicks and draft Killian Hayes, I really like this. But also, if you're New York, like, Killian Hayes is probably going to be better than whoever. Actually, New York will not draft another French point guard. After Frank and just the way the fans reacted, New York will not draft another French point guard. So, yeah, even though it says a prospect they like, you consider number 4. Yeah, without question, I think that if they can manage to get this deal, I think Kevin Knox still has potential. I think if the Knicks give up on Kevin Knox too soon and trade him for pennies, if they can use him in a big trade, fair enough. But if they're trading him for pennies, I think he's just had a bad season. I think it'll be good. Washington Wizards and Onyeka Okongwu to Washington would be nice. Okongwu to Washington would be nice. And I think these are just all the kind of trades. Where's Maledon? RJ Hampton going 12. I think he'll go lower than that. I think he'll drop a bit further than that. Okay, so the rest of this, not the most interesting thing in the world. Did they forget Theo Maledon? Cole Anthony, imagine if someone told you a year ago that Cole Anthony was going to be out of the lottery. Like, if the Denver Nuggets can get Cole Anthony and can turn him into a player, it would be unbelievable. Like, this isn't like a Trevon Duval situation where he very clearly just wasn't good enough to be drafted in college. Like, Cole Anthony played well. He obviously just wasn't spectacular as was expected. But man, if the Nuggets can somehow go and get themselves Cole Anthony, it would be nuts. But at the end of the day, where there's no T.O. Maladon in the first round pick. At the end of the day, if someone in this range here can draft T.O. Maladon, they're getting a absolute steal. That's all I'm going to say. They're getting an absolute steal. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. What seems to be an almost guarantee is that the Golden State Warriors will trade that pick, as well as that what seems to be, I can't believe I'm saying this, because I was one of the people that said, you know what, Lamelo Ball could just end up being retired from basketball by this age in his career. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's looking like Lamelo Ball could go, or is almost certainly going number 1. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Because evidently, like, the Timberwolves are not going to take Anthony Edwards, and nobody's trading up to number 1 to take Anthony Edwards. And I'm just in. Fair play. Fair play, LaMelo, and fair play, LeVar Ball. You've spoken into existence. But if these trades, fingers crossed the Timberwolves can trade away LaMelo, because I don't know how LaMelo works with Karl Anthony Towns and with D'Angelo. I really don't know how he works with D'Angelo Russell. And man, this trade here, I like the Warriors. I really like them just because of their style of basketball, their unselfishness, the way they play on the defensive end. So I would love to see a Miles Turner in Golden State. But imagine if they could turn the number 2 pick into Miles Turner, or number 2 pick and Andrew Wiggins into Miles Turner, deni avdija to replace Wiggins, who's better. Like, imagine if they could do that. Imagine if they could make that trade. Imagine if they could get Deni and someone like a Miles Turner. That would be ludicrous. That means you go out with Deni at the 3, Draymond, Steph, Clay, and Miles Turner. That team's a better... Actually, no, they had Kevin Durant before. It's not better than that team. Might be a better fit than... It's a lot better fit than when they had Kevin Durant out, and they were still probably going to win a championship without Kevin Durant. As well as that, whatever free agents they get, the kind of old free agents, it's a weak free agency class. Whatever vets they get kind of come off the end of the bench, and whoever they get in the buyout market. I know I'm not talking about these specific guys, but like the Markieff Morris type players of the world, the back in the day Bellinelli and Ilyasova for the Sixers. You just never know who they're going to get. And man, the Warriors, they're going to be scary. They're going to be scary next year. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. That's pretty much it. A little bit of Bleacher Report mock draft, as well as a couple of trades that, honestly, I think that trade changes the NBA. I think that trade for the Warriors completely changes the NBA. So anyway, yep, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.